Champions League football. Liverpool. What happened? What happened? Only on Applaud Malaysia. Hello, welcome to the Plot Malaysia. This is our 9th episode of the new season. This is the show for the fans, by the fans. Fantastic. This is Ram, of course, from the Plot Malaysia. As you can see today, due to obvious reasons, of course, my co-host Harry is absent once again. But honestly speaking, yes, he's been busy, so he will not be able to join us today. But it's just me, and of course, we do have a very special guest to join us to talk about, what went on last night in Europe. So, without further ado, we have our regular guest, who has come on last season as well, and today, of course, back on the Plot Malaysia. Let's welcome West Ham United fan, Mr. Keshav. Hi, Keshav.
Hi.
Welcome on the
Hi,
show.
Thank you. Mhm. Good to
Of
be
course,
back.
absolutely awesome to see you back on the show with us, joining us again, and of course, talking football, as what we love to do most of the time, of course. And guess what? Keshav Hari is not here, so we can really dive deep and talk about Liverpool as much as possible.
Mm.
Yes, absolutely. So, guys of you who don't know, Keshav has been, of course, our guest in, the show last season as well. He's a West Ham United fan, and just like him, if you want to be a guest on our show, you are more than welcome. So, of course, you can comment on our shows, give us your feedback, and of course, we would like to have you on the show as well. So, getting started, Keshav, I think yesterday was indeed a really good test for a lot of teams in the Champions League. Don't you agree?
Yes, definitely. Good to see where each team is at, and it's good to see Rangers in the Champions League after so long.
Yeah.
They finished, I think, second, if not mistaken, in the Scottish League. So it provided them a good opportunity to showcase it. But I think yesterday was, I think, too much for them when
I agree
facing a
with you.
very good
I
Ajax side.
I agree with you. And kicking off with that, as you mentioned, of course, Keshav, we're going to kick off with, of course, Ajax, thumping Rangers 4-0 in the Champions League. Of course, at the, in Amsterdam, of course, Rangers were the away side. Did you get, by any chance, manage to catch a glimpse of the games or the highlights of the games by any chance?
Yes, I did, and I thought,
Mm.
Ajax. Whenever I think of Ajax, I think of them having this young, vibrant team. And whenever they had Ten Hag as their manager, he always had this idea of utilizing the youth academy so well. And they've have their homegrown players like Van der Beek and De Jong
Yeah.
and Anthony, if I'm not mistaken, who have all left the football club and gone to Man United. Some of them,
Yep.
but
Yep.
it shows that they've continued that sort of progress again with the youth academy setup and buying smart signings and integrating them. So I think uh, I saw the highlights and I thought they played well. They
Mm.
utilized the set pieces well, and if I'm not mistaken, they signed the Rangers defender Calvin Bassey,
Yep.
and
Yep.
he's come
Absolutely.
to Ajax. So I think that was sort of like I don't know, tension between the Rangers fans, letting him go and all that. So, uh, what I know from Rangers is that they had a really good season last season, the Europa League. I did watch and catch a bit of their games.
Mm.
I think they're a very good team to watch. And West Ham played Rangers in the preseason, and we couldn't catch up to their intensity.
Mm.
And whenever I watch them, it's like they play with high pressure, high
Mhm.
intensity. They play forefront with this sort of attacking mentality. And
Yep.
Europa League is completely different to Champions League. I know Europa League is that still has that pressure, but Champions League is even more. You're playing
Yep.
in one of the best competitions in Europe, so there is going to be that pressure there. But I don't think
And
they play really well against Ajax, to be honest, because I think they did struggle from what I saw in the highlights. So
And great to mention, I agree with you. They did struggle. They put on a very poor performance. It was surprising for me because Giovanni Rank Broncos, being of course the Dutch legend, managing the club of Rangers after he took over from Steven Gerrard. I was expecting more from them because you
mm,
know being in the Champions League after so long, after 12 years, if I'm not mistaken, going back into the Champions League, finally, and of course, playing in the competition and to perform in this manner, I thought it was very disappointing. I would have expected Rangers to go and try their level best to score a goal, to put on a fight with Ajax, but it was very poor from Rangers, and Ajax was just simply outstanding. My favorite player of the Ajax game was Mohamed Kudus. I thought he
mm,
was absolutely brilliant. He's one of the players to watch, in my opinion, for Ajax. He
mm.
is, like they say, kudos to Kudus. In yesterday's game,
Yeah.
yeah, he scored a brilliant goal yesterday. Of course, the third goal. What did you make out of? Okay, putting Rangers aside, of course. What do you make out of Ajax's performance? I mean, they've lost a lot of players, as you mentioned. Of course, I know a few of
Mm.
them going to Man United, and of course, a few of them left the club. But how are they able to still manage without Eric Ten Hag being there, with the current manager there and with the current players that they have to still put up with such a performance? How do you think that's possible for a club like Ajax? Very quickly to share.
I think it's to do with the foundations built. In every football club, you have certain foundations. It's like the saying that Rome wasn't built in a day; it's built in a
Yep.
certain period of time. So when you think about Ajax and how they've come about, it's true. It's true certain building blocks that takes place. Certain you add brick by brick, layer by layer, to carve or craft that final piece of product that you wanted. So when it comes to this case, Ajax have a strategy or plan have been taken place way long since, I think, when or the start of Eric Ten Hag coming then. So I think that these players like Kudos and if I'm not mistaken, Anthony before, they've all come in with this sort of setup of, we're going to play with our youngsters, but we're also going to add experience in there, because we can't just add youngsters. They don't have that experience, that mentality, and that know how to win matches. So I think in that sense, yes, they've done a good job, but they also, I think in this new manager, I can see that they have a attacking philosophy. They play in, I think, in a similar way like how Eric Ten Hag plays: high pressure, high intensity, win the ball back. And yeah, I think that's what I can pretty much say about this Ajax side. Um, but I do think, if you ask me, the Eredivisie, it's not an easy league, but
Yep.
there are some good teams there, like Easy Alkmaar and PSV and
Yep.
Feyenoord, these sort of big teams. So yeah, I think yesterday's game was a good game, but I felt a bit sorry for Rangers and how they played, because they are a good team and they're one of
Yep.
the, I think, sort of best teams. Oh no, best Scottish teams there is in their league, their own league, to say. So yeah.
Absolutely, I agree with you, Keshav. Thank you so much for giving that insight. And I think we wish Rangers all the best. Hopefully, they stay on, in the Champions League. Otherwise, they will slum down to the Europa League, and join wonderful teams like Man United. Obviously, but then again, yes, I do think that Ajax could prove a point. That despite losing a lot of players, to other leagues, to other teams, they're still performing. Hopefully, they can maintain the performance and go on to win more games and hopefully progress further in the Champions League. So yeah, Ajax played really, really well. Absolutely love the way they played yesterday. They were dominating the game. They scored 4 goals plus past Rangers. So hence, of course, the score was 4-0. But above than that, I think we all have to look at hoping that these teams like Rangers, they can still come back and perform well again. So moving forward, of course, Keshav, I just want to bring up this game as well. I want to talk about this very important game that, of course,
Mm,
resulted in a very, very controversial decision.
mm,
Especially for Chelsea, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure,
yes.
guys, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We all football fans, and we were shocked by the decision. But before we go into that, before we dive in into that, we want to talk about the football aspect of things first.
Mm.
So, Keshav, since you're here, did you by any chance manage to catch this game? Because I caught this game. I watched this game. I
Mm.
was a bit surprised. Do you have anything you want to share with the rest of the guys as well about this?
I saw the highlights. I didn't see the full. I didn't see the match, but I saw the highlights.
Mm.
It's difficult to say because we played Dinamo Zagreb last season, first game in the Europa League when West Ham came, and I saw Dinamo Zagreb really didn't play well when we played them that time. But I
Yeah,
think now when they played against Chelsea, it's like let them have the ball and see
Mhm.
what we can do. Because when teams have possession, you just let them have the possession. We just have to do simple thing: put the ball up or run in behind. We need quick players who can run in behind and have needs to have clinical quality to finish, and that's what exactly they did. And that is
Yeah,
what teams now do to big clubs. So credit to where is due with Dinamo Zagreb. I thought when I saw the highlights, they played very well. They played with energy. They were very smart in the way they played. They didn't want to go and press or get the ball whenever Chelsea were in possession. But when I saw the way Chelsea played, it's like there's no fight, there is no
yeah, I
innovation.
agree.
Because
Yeah,
when you think of Tuchel's teams, it's very defensive. It's like a bit of like Conte, but Conte is more of sit back and then you go counter attack. But that is not Tuchel. Tuchel is more of he wants to get his defense right, and you can clearly see the signings he's made is all to do with shaping the defense after the outgoings of Christensen and um,
yeah.
what's his name? Christensen, who they lost.
Oh, Chelsea,
Few
Chelsea,
of the
Chelsea losing players. Yeah, they've
Chelsea.
lost. They lost quite a bit of players. Christensen was one of them, of course. They've lost quite a few players. I think the player's name is not coming out the heads. If anyone can help us,
Mhm.
please let us
Yeah.
know. It's okay. But with the addition of Koulibaly in the team, and of course they lost Werner. They lost few other players as well. So I think, but it's no excuse, right, Keshav, because you are
Yeah.
Chelsea, and
Yeah. Mhm.
you are in the top league in the world, as they say, the Premier League, and to put up a performance like this, definitely not acceptable. And of course, before we carry on, Keshav, I just want to read a bit of the comments. Of course, we have, of course, Eugene. Eugene, yes, I sent you the link on WhatsApp. Please join us if you want to. Come on, talk to Keshav and myself, and talk a little bit more about the game. So yes, you're welcome. I sent you the link already on WhatsApp. Please feel free to join our show. And of course, we have Shiv. Shiv say, "Where is Hari? Is he traumatized?" Yeah, well, I believe he's definitely upset for sure. I don't think he's traumatized though. I think he's just upset, and he's not able to join us because he's working till late today. So we all understand, no problem. We will definitely get a chance to speak to him, when he joins. But thank you, Shiv, for the comments. Appreciate that. So, Keshav, of course, back to Chelsea. And of course, it was just the odd goal. I saw the game. It was a clear, wonderful break. It was a good headed assist, and of course, the goal scored was absolutely against the run of play from the defense, and of course, moving forward. Um, I just want to ask you, of course, with the decision right now with Tuchel being sacked, in case you guys didn't know, Tuchel has been sacked officially as Chelsea manager, and of course, you know, Chelsea are looking for a replacement. It most likely looks like Graham Potter. But let's just go back again. Why do you think this happened to Tuchel? It comes as a surprise to me and a lot of people as well. So, in your opinion, why do you think this happened?
I think there are a few reasons which I can
Yeah.
think about. I think one of them is that they spent a lot of money this season on transfers such as the defenders, because that's the issue that they needed to address, which was the defense, because a lot of their defenders left. So they thought with the new ownership that's coming, a new era under Chelsea, and Todd Bowley as the American owner,
Yeah.
why not splash the cash and get good defenders, which would help our team. So they got Koulibaly, um, they got the defender Fofana,
Yeah. Wesley
and
Fofana. Yeah.
And these are good players, don't get me wrong, but it's you need time to adjust and gel. It's not going to happen in 1 2 weeks of games.
Yep,
You need there's
absolutely.
a period of time where players need to adjust. So I think where this came wrong is that it's like it's like Roman Abramovich when he first took over Chelsea. He still gave time to Chelsea managers and gave them the
Yep.
backing. But I think once they started to just drop of form, lack of
Hmm.
confidence, started to
Hmm.
sap. So I think when Todd Bowley came in, he said, I think this is what I feel. It's like, as the owner, you know what? I'm just going to do the same thing like what Roman Abramovich has done and just sack him after what has happened. And I
Hmm.
think that you should at least have given Tuchel time, because he, don't get me wrong, he's a good manager. He has a way of playing, but to sack him after this game where they've lost 1-0, of course, it's not acceptable. But
Hmm.
you look at the players they've invested in, and you have to say give them time. Like Fofana, he's just come in. He's not a established high world class player. He's just a very raw young talent who has
Hmm.
come from Leicester. Then you've got
Hmm.
Koulibaly. Bali. Of course, make no mistake, that is an experienced defender, which of course he cannot give any excuse because he's
Yep.
come from Napoli. He's
Yep.
played in the Champions League. All that I can understand. But if you look overall at this now, this is the second reason why is because of their recent games where they've lost. Example, Southampton, where they didn't even play well. They weren't
Hmm.
even in the game, and then Southampton played well. South they dominated in the first half, Chelsea in the game, but then second half they just weren't good at all. Southampton dominated, they had chances, and they just weren't free flowing. Then against us, when we played them last week, I mean, I don't know what to say about the game because w- we just West Ham had a simple plan: sit back and let them have the ball, and then we just do our counter attack, which is what we did. What they were, I mean, VAR is so was it's very difficult to comment when it comes to Chelsea because the two goals, the Chilwell goal, for example, they scored, that was very lucky, and it was a mistake from our goalkeeper. And that's
Okay.
how it happened with the confidence. Then Sunny came into the players, and then they scored the second goal from Havertz. I mean, when you look overall at that game, they were just lucky, and
Okay.
especially the Mendy shoulder, supposedly shoulder. I don't think that's a foul. I think he's just faking it. I think it's just too much, if you ask me, because uh, VAR needs to really assess and give. These referees need to really look and say,
Okay. Keshav, hold
give.
that thought for a second. Hold that thought for a second. Let me just invite somebody into the show as well, yeah, so we can have a three-way conversation as well. Thank you, Keshav. Just hold that thought for a moment. While coming into the show, of course, we have our regular guest as well. He also runs his own channel. He's a Spurs fan. So let's welcome Mr. Eugene from Spurs U Asian TV. Hi, Eugene. Are you there? Welcome on the show. Huh, hashtag Inik out. As you can see, Keshav. Are you there, Eugene? Hi. Okay, we'll wait for him to get on the show. Anyway, go on, Keshav. That's what you were saying.
Saying regarding the shoulder injury on Mandy, I don't think that was a foul. I think it's just bullshit what he did. It was completely fake. Bowen tried his best. I mean, what is Bowen supposed to do when it came to that? Bowen was supposed to jump, and when Mandy has already caught the ball, and Bowen already has come in straight to him and gone over him. So there's no point of saying that Mandy just just came out and just suddenly had this shoulder injury when he just caught the ball. And then this referees like to make stuff up, saying that, oh, we they I feel that they like to give so much bias to the top sides, and I just couldn't believe what I saw in the game. And what I
Okay.
feel when moving forward with VAR, sorry if I'm going a bit off topic, but
No, it's
is
okay.
that if you do most post-match interviews for referees, why did they do this decision? What prompted them to do that decision, like that
Mm.
foul on Mendy or all those sort of stuff? Because we need to understand that this is all towards biasness, and this keeps happening with VAR. VAR is supposed to do something good to the Premier League, but right now it's not. It's the complete opposite. When you see there's so many games last week that had so many VAR complaints and all that. So I'm not gonna go on about it. I'll come
It's
back to the
okay.
Chelsea a situation. That was it. I think it was a lack of confidence in the games that they had, and it started off in that. And I heard reports saying that some players lost confidence with Tuchel. I
Yep.
heard in the dressing room. So I think, and it's also his defensive football. I think you've seen that he likes his that's why you see he likes to buy his defense. There's so much to keep it so compact and tight.
Hi
So
guys, can you hear me now?
Hi, Eugene. Welcome,
Yep,
welcome on
yeah,
the show.
hi Eugene.
Okay.
yeah. Hi, Kishan. Yep. And there's some echo going on. Just have to do some. Let me do some technical work here.
No problem. No
Can you
problem.
guys
Carry
hear
on,
me?
pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I was saying that yes, it's just the lack of confidence, the defensive style that didn't just Chelsea play just couldn't take, and I just think it was down to the run of games they had, and they should be able to win these games. And I think that's what prompted him to get sacked. Don't get me wrong; he's a great manager. I wish him all the best.
But
But
but you see, Keshav, my concern is like he being said, yes, he's a great manager for Chelsea. I think everyone can agree he's a great. He's only been there for 18 months. He's only been there 18 days longer than Frank Lampard was when he was in Chelsea and he was sacked. But like what you said before as well. I think you spoke to me offline, Keshav, and you did mention that why now. I mean, it's very new into the season. He's brought in players. Why is he still being sacked despite all that? I to me, in my opinion, I cannot accept the fact that this early stage in the season where you are allowed to make mistakes. Don't get me wrong, mistakes can cost you sometimes, but it's still the first game of the Champions League. And Chelsea, even though they've lost a few games in the Premier League, it doesn't mean that their season is over. And it doesn't mean that that deserved a sacking because they only lost 1-0. They did not lose 4-5-0 to say that, oh, this guy deserves a sack. So I was very, very taken aback by the decision. Was very surprising, to be honest. But Keshav, I really get your point. It could be because of the players' confidence in him, not really wanting to play for him because they don't feel the confidence in him anymore. But do you think it takes a lot of time to get to a final conclusion of sacking? But in my opinion, Chelsea did not even take that time. They just immediately just kicked the boot at him. Why is that? And of course, Eugene, you can chip in as well. But Keshav, tell me
Can
what
you
you
guys
think
hear me
about that.
now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good. Sorry, some technical issues. Just got a new webcam and all that. So
Sure.
testing the
New
angles and
is
all that.
good.
Yeah.
New is good. New is good. New is good. But yeah, do chip in on your thoughts of Tuchel sacking. I'll come back to you, Keshav. But,
For
but Eugene,
me,
go ahead.
the Chelsea problem is I think it started last season. At the end of the season, the cracks were all there already, right?
Yeah.
So if Roman was in charge, I think he would be sacked earlier. If to be frank, right? Roman changes managers, but the cracks were there. Then when all the things happened with the Ukraine war and all that, then Chelsea had their dip. There were a lot of issues and excuses and all that. But all this while, I think Tuchel winning the Champions League maybe covered a lot of cracks that Chelsea had. And of course, guys, losing your core of your defense, right? Rudiger, Christensen, and all that, that has a lot of toll on it. That would taken a big toll onto the team. And bringing in all these players at the moment, and of course having a new owner with new directions and all that. I guess, come on, imagine when you sack Tuchel within 24 hours, you're already appointing another manager. So I guess the drawing was already in the background. So it was just giving him some time to see whether he could get things together, but he couldn't. It is what it is. So now let's see whether Potter can actually bring that team to the levels that they're supposed to be, which I doubt it too, because Potter usually works with youth, right, and developing players. At the moment now, he's got a squad where they're established, and of course there are egos there now. Of course, don't forget they brought in Aubameyang, okay, from Barcelona. Of course, it's ex-Arsenal. Will he be able to get a tune out of Oba? So, only time will tell. Only time will tell, right? And
Thank you.
now, yeah, bring you into this next topic that you have at bottom, right?
Yeah.
Potter to
So
Chelsea.
So Graham Potter to Chelsea is the known fact that it's going to happen. It's inevitable. I think even Fabrizio Romano said it's here we go.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
we know it's all but confirmed. So Keshav, going back to this, I think Keshav, you have been a huge part to this discussion where Graham Potter was a good manager at Brighton, and we spoke about Graham Potter going to other clubs before. And I think you also are aware of us talking about Graham Potter coming to Man United last time, and I was talking about Graham Potter.
Mm. Yeah.
I think you were there on the show as well. So what do you think Keshav, Graham Potter could bring to Chelsea? When he comes on, of course. And Eugene, of course, I'll ask you the same question later as well. So yeah, go ahead, Keshav. Tell me first. What do you think?
Uh, Overall, from what I've seen, I think it's a good appointment. I know some Chelsea fans are going to disagree here because I
Yeah.
don't think they'll see it as a great appointment. I think they see it as a step backwards. I think they'll see it
Chelsea
as
fans, are you serious? This is a brilliant appointment. Anyway, go on, Keshav.
um, I don't get me wrong. I if you ask me, I really rate Graham Potter highly. I didn't know much
Yep.
about him, but I know when he came to Brighton and the way of football he played, I understood how he played, his philosophy, and
Mhm.
it really like attracted me as to if let's say Moyes left right now, 100% take him,
Yep.
100% pay the fee and get him in because he
Mm.
brings a style of football which is what I want to see: attacking, high
Mm.
possession, but also they defend well. He
Mm.
brings in a set of players who will be disciplined, who will
Mm.
get them organized, which Chelsea need to. But I also agree what Eugene said, that is that Chelsea players have there's some ego players in that side. He has no
Yep.
experience managing those type of players, so that's going to be a challenge for Graham Potter, because
Yep.
he's come to a point where now he's managed a very good Brighton side, but now he's now got ready-made players. He's got a
Mm.
ready-made squad. He just needs a few things that needs to be tweaked, and of course his tactics and the way he wants to play has to be integrated. So that's going to take a bit of time, and
Mm.
it is an interesting appointment. I think it's a very well-known fact that he's right now the how do I say, the best English manager right now to take. If anybody would
Yep.
want it, he's the one to take, because he came. I remember. I think there was a stat. I think he, if I'm not mistaken, he was the coach or women's coach, if I'm not mistaken, for the Ghana national team. I have to check this again. But then he went to Swansea. No,
Mhm.
he went to Austin's. That's where he
Yep.
started, and then he went to Swansea, then Brighton, and now Chelsea. So I think there's a huge step up when it comes to
Yep.
managers like to come to Swansea, then Brighton, because Brighton and Chelsea are two completely different ways of structure and
Yep.
foundation.
And I
So it is
and I have
a
to
challenge.
say, yeah, Keshav, I totally agree with you. I had to say this, yeah, because when I saw Brighton play against United in the opening game and the way Brighton played with the kind of football that they had coming from Graham Potter, I think it's very evident that he has the style of play that can threaten a lot of teams and can hurt a lot of teams going forward. So of course, Keshav, thank you for your point. I'm just gonna go to Eugene for a moment. I'll come back to you later, Keshav. Eugene, are you there? Maybe you
Yeah,
can
I'm
also
there.
share. Yeah, maybe you can share some light on how do you think Graham Potter is going to be like, as a Chelsea manager.
At the moment, like I said before, right? Potter will have his work cut out, right?
Yeah.
First of all, he has to get the respect of the players that he has. One thing he's lucky, he's got Cucurella there, right?
Yeah.
Cucurella is an ex-Brighton player, so maybe that
familiar,
will
familiar face.
Yes, familiar. It's
one
very weird
familiar
because
face.
Yeah.
sorry
Yeah,
to interrupt there.
Yeah.
Bill Gilmore from Chelsea went to Brighton and he got
yeah,
him. So now it's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
him, Chichola going from Brighton to Chelsea. So it's a weird.
Yeah.
But
It's funny
the
how the
familiar
wheels will
face,
work around.
the familiar face is one thing, right?
Yep.
Hopefully he will be the link, right? For the other for the how you call
Mhm.
the other players and all that to at least give him a chance, right?
Yep.
To be able to how you call show them what he can do. If not,
Yep.
then Chelsea will have to have some time to settle in. In the end of
Yep.
the day, that's how I see it. It will take them some time to settle in, right?
Yep.
And in the end of the day, whether it works or not, then it's another thing, right?
Mm. I,
And
I, I, I I totally understand where you're coming from as well, Eugene, because to have Graham Potter, of course, as the replacement for Thomas Tuchel, he's going to come under a lot of pressure. Of course, he's going to have lots of pressure. It's like how David Moyes took over Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the kind of scenario, that kind of feeling. You have a top name like Thomas Tuchel, and then you have Graham Potter, who is, of course, English manager, who is not really highly rated for some people, but for people who love the game, just like Keshav, Eugene, and myself, and of course the rest of us, we definitely think he's a very good appointment for Chelsea, and I think that he will.
But I think the saddest person will be Harry at the moment.
Because he wanted Harry Potter at Liverpool. I mean, not Harry Potter, Graham Potter at Liverpool, maybe.
Yeah,
For sure. But things aside, though, I hope, with Graham Potter in Chelsea, I hope the board of Chelsea give him time to play his brand of football, without much scrutiny. Because I think, to be fair, I think Thomas Tuchel deserved a longer time, in my opinion. I thought he deserved a longer time. I think Keshav mentioned that as well. I think a lot of people do agree. So Chelsea fans out there, if you are watching this, do comment on our show. Tell us what you think of this appointment. Are you happy? Are you sad? Do you think it could be a better appointment? Let us know. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel as well. And you can see Eugene is from Spurs U Asian TV. So Spurs fans, if you're watching this, tune into his channel and subscribe as well. And West Ham United fans, of course, we have a fellow West Ham United fan here, Keshav. And if you are watching this, of course, give us your comments and let us know what you think of this appointment. It's going to be huge, developments in the Premier League as well. So, guys, before we move on to the next topic, anything both of you want to say about this appointment? Anything additional you want to add on? Let's start with Keshav. Anything else you want to say about this?
I think you need to give. I think we need to see how Potter does, because I feel they're going to play Fulham this week. I think Saturday, and there is going to be a bounce back. I think that's going to happen. But I think you have to give Potter time, because he needs to see how the players adapt to his style. There's going to be different training ways of playing, ways of training with how Tuchel did, and there's going to be huge difference to how Tuchel has done training and how now Potter's going to do training. And how I heard that he's very good at man management and leadership, because I saw just now on Instagram he did an interview with Sky Sports, and he talked a lot about how to manage players and leadership qualities that he's brought into Brighton. And I found it very interesting, because right now in football, you don't know, teams or managers don't know how to manage the players' emotions when it comes to games, because it can be difficult. Let's say you're being trashed, how to emotionally get the players or push the players back up. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, he said in Sky Sports Graham Potter, he did a master's in emotional science, if I'm not mistaken. So he said he went to go and talk to different people and learn about man management. So I think maybe he could bring that sort of skill to Chelsea, because they have ego players there. I'm sure some of them are ego players. To make sure that all of them are very humble at the same time and agree to his vision of how he wants to play. So that's going to be interesting. And I think that he's the first manager, if I'm not mistaken, to have a qualification of emotional science, because I've never heard any manager actually have that. Because I saw
he's got masters in psychological things, something to do. Yeah.
Well, that's news for me, because I didn't know that. So that's definitely news for me. So it's going to be additional.
That's why he never wanted to come to Spurs. He didn't want to take the psychological torture from Levy.
Well. Here we go about Spurs and Levy. Okay, so thank you very much, Keshav, for pointing that out. So Eugene, very quickly, tell me what else do you want to share with the viewers on this, and what else do you think would be very important for people to know about this appointment before we move on?
Like I always said, it's just have to give it time and see what happens. And like what Keshav says, very, very, very true, because the next game they're coming up is the London Derby against Fulham, right? And usually when
that's going to be interesting.
So that plays a lot into the called the psychological part. right? I'm not sure whether they are away or home. I think they are home, right? If I'm not mistaken. If they are away, then it's going to be very tough
I
because
think it's away. I think Chelsea is playing away.
yeah.
Yeah.
If they are away, it will be a bit tough because getting a new manager just coming in, losing Tuchel uh, after the Zagreb debacle, and don't forget, don't ever underestimate Zagreb, right? We went there and we got smacked too, right? And that was somewhere in
Okay.
the Europa League or something, right? So,
Fair
uh,
enough. I mean, yes, I agree. I think
mm,
Chelsea is playing away. But
mm.
since, Eugene, since you are here, thank you for joining us on the Plot Malaysia. We have to do justice and talk about your team also, lah. You know what I mean, lah.
Ayo,
So,
my
so
ayo.
the next team is, of course, Tottenham beating Marseille 2-0 in the Champions League. So, of course, Eugene, since this is your team, won 2-0. Tell us how the game went because I didn't watch the game. Keshav, did you catch the game? Did you
No,
watch the
no.
game?
Yeah.
Okay, so both of us did not catch the
Um,
game. Tell us
some
the key points
yeah,
about the game.
somehow weirdly, right? Our service provider, Astro, and not to say we can get any
Okay.
sponsorships for them on Plot Malaysia, didn't show that game live. My God.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
so they show a lot of other games live except for that game, but I still got somehow I got okay, we got a stream from somewhere.
Well done, well done.
Yeah,
Improvising that.
yeah.
True Spurs fan.
But
You know what?
to tell the truth, not impressed. Honestly, totally not impressed at our performances at the moment. Right?
But you guys are winning. You guys are winning
Mm.
No,
games.
that is the only positive thing I can say about it. Right? The whole game somehow or another, it was more like watching another Premier League game where Spurs get dominated. Right? We lose the ball, get pushed back, we lose the ball. Now I've come to more or less a conclusion. Right? That could be a Conte tactic. That's how he
Yeah,
wants to
it
play.
is.
Yeah, but not
Conte's
to the
football
sense
is,
that
it's not the most
no,
exciting, but it
no,
gets
I'm
you
not.
the results.
It's not to say it's not exciting. Being a fan, Spurs fan, right? It's like sometimes you feel that why is it being played like that? We are being dominated, but we're so reliant on counter attack. And I think in the first half, we lost the ball too much. Marseille had most of the ball. They were more or less peppering us, cross left, right, and center. But we were lucky. Somehow or another, when we play teams, right? Somehow or another, their strikers go missing, you know, and hardly ever score. So that's one of the plus points that we have. Maybe we can say our defense is good, but I don't think so. We've got Dyer there, right? Right.
Eugene always
Uh,
talks about Dyer that way. He's like, oh
uh,
no, Jain,
we got Dyer
Dyer
there.
straight.
Yeah, Dyer. We got Dyer there. But of course, luckily we had Langley and Romero on the left and right to more or less cover up on that. Then when the second half came out, we were more intense, more pressure, and of course early on we got the red card. So
Yeah.
so once after we got the red card, I think the tide turned, right? And when the tide turned, we became the more dominating team. We were putting crosses, and we were pressing more. We were going for it more. But they still had a few counter attacks that were a bit scary for us, right? But in the end, we were still able to put that into it, and of course, Richie scoring goals, right? Uh,
Yo, his
Richie,
nickname now, Richie,
yeah,
Richarlison.
Richie scored 2 goals on his Champions League debut, right?
Yep.
And that's it. At the moment, not happy with the performance, but happy with the results. That's all I can say. Not happy with the performance, but
Thank
happy
you.
with the results.
Thank you very much, Eugene. Indeed, yes, of course. Richarlison scoring 2 goals, but they kept it late though in the 76th and the 81st minute.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And of course with Marseille having the red card, with Memba getting the red card. So obviously it was definitely unfortunate for Marseille. But you see, Keshav, on the other hand, right? If you're watching Spurs, for example, if you're watching Spurs play football, a lot of people are talking about the Antonio Conte brand of football, and a lot of them are not very, very impressed, in the sense that, of course, he's more defensive. So, Keshav, give us a neutral perspective on this, right? Because, of course, we have Eugene, who's a Spurs fan, who probably understands. But what do you see on the outside, that you think is probably helping Spurs? And do you think Conte is doing something that you think is right for Spurs at the moment? Go ahead.
Um, personally, if you ask me whether I like Antonio Conte style play, I really don't. I think it's
Okay.
honestly quite boring. But when we played Spurs, I think a week ago, the 1-1 derby, we actually dominated that game. And when I looked at Spurs, I really, to be honest, when I look at Spurs, I look at their defense. I think anybody can go past them. Dyer is really not a good defender. Not to say he's not. He's average, I feel. Romero is good. Longley, Longley is
Yet to
he's
be
just
proven.
yeah. He's a proven
Yet
defender.
to be proven. Yet to be proven.
Yet to be proven. Yeah, yet to be proven.
Yet to be proven in Premier League. Yeah.
And they don't get me wrong. They have a good squad. Their attack is it's a really good attack. They've got Son, Kulizaski, and Kane. I think one of the best, at least top three, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Man
No,
City,
and add
Liverpool,
Charleston into it now. Yeah.
yeah. But I feel that especially the defense is bit, not say worrying. I just think they need to improve on it more because Romero also is sometimes injured and Dyer is okay. And I think maybe that's how Conte likes to play. He's always been playing that way. So I don't think there's no change in the way he plays. But let's say if teams do sit back and they counter, then what Spurs are going to do then? What is Conte going to do if they also do the same
yeah,
thing?
that's why, Kesha,
Mm.
my biggest concern now is that we lack something in the middle of the park, right? We have this gap in the midfield. Whenever we do the counter attack, at the moment, right, there's like something missing. We have like Kulu, Son, and Kane rushing all the way up, and there's a big gap in the middle that we do not have somebody to do that link. You see, that's the sad part. But the thing is that Conte usually plays with the wing backs, right? At the moment, we only got one actual performing wing back, which is on the left with Perisic, right? Emerson Royale, please, right? He is not a wing back. He's more like the right back. For the defensive part of Royale, he's got his positives, but when you come to the attacking part of it, right, he's got nil. He can't put in a cross, right? And that's the sad part. So Conte's way of playing is through the wings, and at the moment now, that's why a lot of Spurs fans are not that happy with this transfer window because we did our business early, but we didn't identify the weaknesses that we need to improve on, right? Like getting a real quality center back that could play the ball out from the back, right? Like you were saying, in a lot, especially like during the West Ham game, I watched it. I'm sure you watched it, right? We kept playing the ball out from the back, but we kept losing it halfway up the field, and you guys came back at us on and on and on again. So that means defensively with Romero there, and at the time we had Davis and of course Dyer, right?
Yes,
We couldn't control the midfield because I think Højbjerg and Bentancur, with just two of them, your midfield with Declan Rice and all that, right, just overpowered them. So, but we still got the draw, right? But at the moment now, for our results in the Premier League, is very simple. Is that we have not lost. That's the first thing, right? And I think our biggest test is coming this Saturday, right? We'll be playing, you know who, Rams, biggest rivals on the other side, the blue side of Manchester, right? So and we'll be playing away right now. And don't forget, this game last season, we beat them 3-2, right? While playing this style of football. But at the moment, with Kane, Kulu, and Son, and of course you add Richie in there now, right? That combination is not clicking. And somehow or another, Son is really out of form.
He's off form. Not scoring goals, very, very bad form.
And then he keeps, whenever he keeps losing the ball too easily whenever he takes on his man, which he usually doesn't do last season.
Yeah.
Whenever he takes on his man last season, right, he beats him, right? But this season, somehow or another, his touch while he's taking on his man is like giving the ball away to the defender or something. But like a lot of people say, class is permanent, right? The form will come back, right? And what we are doing now is that we are not performing. Like you said, we are being overwhelmed. We are being, like during the Chelsea game, I was saying we're being smacked left, right, and center. Smacked, battered. left, right, and center. You know, it was like some kind of a BDSM game or something like that. So,
Okay,
but,
okay,
but,
all right.
but somehow or another, we came back with the results. Somehow or another, we came back with results. That's the plus point about Conte, is that he's built this mentality into this squad now, right? Which last time when we were under Poch, when we go down, we crumble. Now he's built that mentality into this squad, right? When we go down fighting. It doesn't matter, right? We'll give it all and we go down fighting. Like you were saying with Chelsea, right? When they went down, they just couldn't build themselves up again, right? So I
Yeah.
guess
I think Conte's handshake with Tuchel proved to be a bit too strong. That has resulted.
he
It
didn't
has
look him in the
resulted
eye.
in
No, he
whatever has
didn't look him
happened.
in the eye. He didn't look him in the
Yeah,
eye.
yeah, exactly. And now, you know, of course, you know, whatever happened. So yes, there you have it. You know, of course, Spurs winning 2-0. Take nothing away from Spurs. I think it was a good result for Spurs. Of course, starting the
Of course,
Champions League
yeah.
campaign on a win. So of course, you know, and yes, definitely it's going to be exciting. You know, moving forward. But I just need to do this, you know, Eugene and Keshav, you know, since of course our dear friend Hari is not here, we have to talk about his team also, lah, you know. And and I think you guys can help me out, because if I was doing this alone, I wouldn't know what to say. So thanks Keshav and Eugene for being here. So let's bring on, of course, you know, this particular scoreline: Napoli 4, Liverpool 1. Something I was shocked. I chose not to watch the game, guys, because it was 3 a.m. in the morning. I don't support any of these teams. And I was like, I thought in myself, you know, I think
Yeah,
Liverpool's going to win this game quite
yeah,
easily.
Ram.
So,
You guys, you're not in the Champions League, so you wouldn't watch. You watch the game
hey,
tonight. I gotta rub it in,
I'm,
right?
I'm, I'm, I'm going to watch the game tonight. But thanks, Eugene, for rubbing it in. You know, I will get back to you after this.
No, we wait until
So
next season, right? When you get back in the Champions League, then
yeah, for sure,
let's
and we will get back to next season, of course. And I wore this T-shirt, right? That is very apt for this particular.
I'd rather walk alone.
Yes, absolutely. Keshav, you have a brother Lakshan who's also a Liverpool fan.
Oh yeah,
right? You know.
yeah.
So I think Eugene and I want to know, how is Lakshan doing, and how do you think he feels after the score? What was the discussion you guys had, and of course, also tell us your opinion on the game. And after that, Eugene, I'll come back to you. So Keshav, go ahead, tell us.
Speaking to Lakshan, he's really like, I think he's honestly shocked when he saw, because I was sleeping and I woke up and he's talking to me about the game. He said that I don't know what Liverpool are seeing. He said, I don't know what Liverpool are seeing. He said that Liverpool are just all over the place. They are really like a mess right now. And I do feel sorry. I really do feel sorry for Klopp. And I just feel there are a lot of issues happening at Liverpool, because it's, of course, okay, let's start off. Napoli is not, they're a very strong side, and they've not had a good record for the past like three years against them. They lost 1-0 and 2-0. So to come here with a 4-1 thrashing, it sends a lot of signals. And I saw the highlights of the game.
Yeah.
Trent was awful.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he was bad.
Salah wasn't even in the game. He'd even only had probably one shot. Robertson looked tired. Alisson, you can't do anything much about Alisson, but the defense was so bad when I saw the highlights. Everybody was all over the place, especially the 45th second when Osimhen passed through Alisson and hit the post. I was like, okay, this really set the momentum. And my worry is when Liverpool keep playing this high line, teams already know just put the ball up, let the players running behind, and they can score. But what Klopp doesn't understand, that this already came to bite them way before, when they need midfielders. They need quality midfielders. They can't rely on Henderson or even Keita, because they have an injury-prone midfield like right now. They have Jones is out. Elliott is you can't put much pressure on Elliott. Then you have Keita, he's injured. Then they just brought in Arthur, which I don't know why you don't start him, even though you have signed him. Klopp also is another, I don't know. He just doesn't start these players, and I feel he just gives too much of loyalty to Robertson and Trent. If they really, after what he saw against Napoli, he should immediately drop them against Wolves, because I don't know what's their option, but probably they play Milner, and even Milner was also poor yesterday. You can't rely on a 30-year-old to carry your midfield. Nunes also is not hitting the form and like what Haaland has done. Of course, we can't
Mm.
compare with him and Haaland, but it's just really difficult to say. And I think it all started with Liverpool not getting midfielders. That's clear and simple, to be honest, because that is what has hampered the game yesterday. The midfield was just completely dominated by Napoli's midfield with Lobotka and Anguissa. So I thought Napoli deserved it. They played very well, but there are few things the club needs to do, and club needs to solve it immediately. But the
Mm.
problem is the owners, they don't back Klopp, and I do feel sorry. I know Klopp no Klopp only realized now that they do need a midfielder, but he should have rectified it way earlier because
Yeah.
the
Thank.
see.
Uh, I totally agree, Keshav. I think whatever you say was very spot on about Liverpool's situation. I obviously think that I do feel, even though I'm a United fan, obviously I do feel sorry for Klopp. I think he's been a great manager for the club. He has taken Liverpool to a different level, season on season. And I think this is one blip. But I think it sends a lot of message across what's happening at the back end of Liverpool. Now, Eugene, of course, at the moment, what I've noticed on social media is that I've seen a lot of fans. I don't know how true fans they are of Liverpool. Obviously, I don't really care, but but to be honest, I just want to know. A lot of them are saying Klopp out, and all this kind of stuff that you don't normally see happening because there are fans who are very very true to Klopp because they believe in his system, they believe in the way he plays. It's just a blip that is happening to Liverpool. What do you have to say about what's going on? And of course, a message to these fans who think Klopp deserves to get the boot.
Mm.
Go on.
To tell the truth, right? I did a show with Harry about a month or 45 days ago when
Yep.
on Spurs Station, right? He came on. We were talking about the transfers and all that. He said he was happy with the transfers, right? They did their
Yep.
transfers early. They got in Diaz in January. They got in Nunes, and they got in some other young guy or something like that, right? If I'm not mistaken. So he was quite happy, and then he said most probably they're not going to sign any more players. For me, Liverpool now, what I see is number one, their team is aging
Yep.
overall in midfield, right, in the strike force. But they did bring in Nunes and all that. He's young, but he still needs to settle down. He's no Haaland, all right? He's no Haaland.
Yeah.
Please come on, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
And of course, you're looking at their defense age too. The defense are aging too, right? And Virgil van Dijk coming back from a bad injury last season, right? His Achilles and all that. And of course, they were going for the quad. They played the most games last season, right? And you add in burnout there, injuries, burnout, aging, right? Not enough new players coming in to how you call bolster it. And a lot of Liverpool fans are in denial, right? That Mane actually has a lot to do with their team, the squad, the
Yep.
work that Mane puts in, the speed he has to whenever there's a defensive problem, he covers back, right? What Sonny does nowadays, like what Sonny's not doing in front, he's going back to cover at the back to try to. That's why maybe our defense is a bit stronger nowadays, right? That's what Mane does, and Mane becomes that middle part where the defense to midfield to the forward moves very quickly with him, and Diaz, I think at the moment when he was bought in January, paper a lot of cracks over it. And when people saw his performance and all that, they would say, "Oh, he'll be a perfect, replacement for Mane." So we lose Mane. It's no big deal, but now it's all showing up, right? Every little thing is showing up, and because the standards that Liverpool has put themselves so high, right, and whatever performance that they put, right, and to be honest, right, Napoli versus Liverpool in Champions League, I predicted them to lose. I actually predicted them to lose because don't forget Napoli bought Ndombele from us, so that's a very good player there. Napoli, you have to
Uh,
sign him on a permanent deal, pay us that 30 million euros.
wow. There's always a story there with Spurs and
Yeah,
Napoli. All right.
and we have to
Well.
now what Spurs fans have to do, right? We have all these loan players out, right, without an option to buy or obligation to buy, right? So what we have to do now is that they're doing very well. You have to buy them for a good price. Give us 20 million pounds here, 30 million, 20 million pounds here, 10 million pounds there. By the time we add up the money in January, we'll have some money to go and buy some players. Not like our stupid owners, right, who keep bullshitting us that we're going to have a war chest to buy all these players. Yeah, look what we get. Right? Yeah, look what we get.
Oh my God,
I'm not
Eugene,
complaining about
amazing.
Richarlison or
Yeah.
Perisic, and of course, don't talk about Jet Spence, right? Yeah,
Well, it's brilliant, It's brilliant,
yeah,
getting the insights from a Spurs fan, of course.
yeah.
Sharing about
But honestly,
Liverpool, and
Liverpool are really, really like what Klopp came out and say. They have to reinvent themselves. So when you say you got to reinvent yourself, right? That means you're going for another rebuild. So if you go for another rebuild, when Klopp came into Liverpool the first time in his first, I mean, in the beginning, it took him about 3 years to reach where he reached, right?
yeah,
And I
yeah,
guess now it's downhill again. So he's going to go for another rebuild. It'll most probably take them another. Maybe this time he's got more players there. Maybe it'll take them another year or two to get up to
yeah.
where they are again, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with both of you. Keshav, thank you for chipping in earlier, and of course, Eugene as well on this game. I think overall, I think Liverpool is just having a slight blip, like what I said. Even though I'm a United fan, I think a lot of United fans might disagree with me, but I'm just going to be very honest. I think it's just a team that is probably going through a phase. They have gone through lots of injuries. 10 players out. Play teams are not. The team
But
is not really on form.
That's not a
Yeah,
blip. You get what I'm saying now?
yeah,
That is not
yeah.
going to be a blip. It's going to be more or less a few speed bumps.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, to put it very simply, yes, a few speed bumps. But I think
Few
if they
speed
if
bumps,
they
right?
get if they get that formation right, if they get the players coming back in, I think you will see Liverpool coming back with a few results. Not pretty results maybe, but they will probably get back a few results.
No, but the
And I
thing is
don't.
that if you look at it now, right? If you want
Yeah,
to change their midfield, you have to get rid of Milner, Henderson,
yeah.
right? And Keita is always injured for
He's
whatever
always
reason.
injury prone. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
he's
always
always injury
injured.
prone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's always injured, right? And they're saying they want Jude Bellingham to come in. By the time you want Jude Bellingham to come in, right? They should have bought him this season, paid whatever money that Dortmund wanted, bought him in. Now you're gonna wait for next whether January transfer window comes along.
the price
All
will
of a
go
sudden,
up. The price will
the
go
price
up for
war is
sure.
not a thing. Real Madrid will want him. Barcelona
Yeah,
want him. Or all of a sudden
yeah,
PSG will want him. Then you'll be fighting with the big boys again. So
yeah,
that's going to
yeah.
be a problem.
Absolutely.
Their defense, right? They got another problem there, right? Thiago, right? Yeah, he's old. He's 37, 38. So how are you going to replace them? And they got Kunate in, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Konate is still injured. He's still
Yeah,
out
and he's
with.
injured too. He's always injured. So
Yeah.
I'm saying
So I think
I'm
the
going to be
only
very sad
saving
for
grace.
Harry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and most
feel for
probably,
you,
right?
bro.
And most probably, right, that fourth spot, right, that most probably that's going to be vacated by Liverpool will go to Manchester United.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I
But the,
hope
the
so
way you look
too.
at it now, right, it's
Yeah.
going to be M City, Arsenal, us, right, Chelsea, Liverpool, and MU, right. But Chelsea and Liverpool now are so shaky, right. So
Yeah.
MU now with Ten Hag coming in and they're pulling out. I mean, after the two losses, they're winning their games, right, in
Yeah.
a succession. So that is a good run for you guys. So you guys have actually the momentum now. You
Yeah.
guys have the momentum. You see. So that's how I see it. But
Yep.
let's
I
see how.
I I
And it's
hope
still
I hope
early.
what you say is true. I hope what you say is true. Let's not jinx it. I hope what you say is true.
But
And
Harry,
of course,
this season we all must be very aware. Our matches are coming thick and fast.
thick and
It's like
fast.
Premier League, Champions League,
2-3 days.
Europa League.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's continuous until the World Cup. And then when the
Yeah.
World Cup comes,
Absolutely.
oh my God, that's another spanner into the works. We do not know what's going to happen there. Who's going to come back injured? Who's going to come back fatigued? Right? And then the January transfer window, who's going to buy the better players? That's how I see it. The fight will be
Absolutely.
in the January
And
window. Yeah.
And I think this is a very good point. You're right about the World Cup coming forward. There's a lot of things. I mean, Keshav, just shed some light here. Very quickly. World Cup coming in November. Obviously, it's not something we're used to. We always used to World Cup coming in June,
Yeah.
to July. So now with the Premier League and of course all the other competitions taking place. Of course, you can talk about West Ham as well, and of course the other teams. How do you think the managers, who would keep up with the number of players that they have, with injuries and also keeping them fit so they can play for the World Cup? So very quickly, just shed some light on that as well. Since we're talking on this topic, yeah.
I think it's a very stupid decision for the World Cup to be held in November.
Keshav, I love you for that. Fantastic. Thank you for saying that. Go on, yeah, go on.
It should be in June, but I don't know this I don't know what you call organizations or committees. They put these things that it just doesn't sit right or feel right. But it is what it is. It's going to have a big impact in terms of fitness, especially when it comes to, I don't know. I think if you look at, let's say, West Ham now have got Conference League, and then we've got FA Cup and all. So it's going to be, we, especially now Declan Rice will go to England, and then we have Ariola who will go to the France national team. I don't know what is in for France, but yeah, we've got some internationals. But if you look at other teams, like I don't know, Man United now, I think if you look at their squad, also it's like all of
90%,
them,
80%, 90% are qualified
80%
for the
are.
World Cup. Yeah, yeah,
But I just don't think it's right
Same here.
for it to be in
yeah.
November, because then what, you're going to add more competitions there, and then it's going to be cramped. Players will come back
Yeah.
tired, it's overburnt. So it's
Yeah.
not, just doesn't feel right.
And speaking about the, thank you, Keshav. I do agree with you. And speaking about a particular fitness, speaking about players' capabilities, we have one team, of course, in the Premier League that just can't stop, that just disagrees with everyone and puts away all the critics. It's none other than Manchester City. Scoring 4 goals yesterday against
Mm.
Sevilla. Regardless what people say about them, regardless whatever that's happening, they seem to put on a show. And let's not forget Erling Haaland again on the score sheet.
Mm.
He's insane. He's absolutely insane. 2 goals yesterday. Of course, first assisted by Kevin De Bruyne and second by Phil Foden. But 2 goals yesterday. That takes him to what? 12, 13 goals already this season in all competitions.
In all,
12.
13, I think 13 or
13,
12.
13 in
12 or 13
all
goals.
competition. And
Yeah.
staying with you, Keshav, I want you to just tell me, what the hell is this guy? Is he some human being or out of this planet or kind of guy? What? Just tell us what you think about it. And Eugene, I'll come to you about this as well. Go ahead, Keshav.
Insane to be honest. Didn't think he would play like this well. I think he is a great striker. I think now, if you think about it, if he keeps playing like this, teams are just going to get frightened. I didn't want him to score against us, but unfortunately he did. But it is what it is. But don't get me wrong, City ball. City's plan is very simple. Just give the ball to Haaland and just score. You see, that's
He's
why
so
they.
strong. He's so
Yep,
strong. He's like, you put the ball to him, he just shrugs off defenders like a
yep,
piece of meat and he just scores a goal. That's what he does. Yeah, go on, Keshav. Sorry. Yeah.
yep. It's very simple because they sold Sterling and what is it? What's his name? Jesus to Sterling to Chelsea and
And
Jesus to and
Zinchenko as well.
Zinchenko and all
So
this. And yet
yeah,
they just don't. Of course, they have to accommodate to Haaland. So they said, why not we need to play differently. So let's just get Haaland in and play in a different way. Just let De Bruyne have the ball, pass it, just keep passing it to Haaland, or just find a way to just give Haaland the freedom or license to move forward, and that's what they've done. Just
mm,
give the ball to Haaland, you score, and that's what they've done. Every game he scores.
yeah.
So it's like
Contender for Golden Boot this season for sure.
mm,
you know.
but
By the way, who's second place? He's got 10 goals in the Premier League, 11 goals in the Premier League, whatever it is. Who's second place, and what's the tally like? He's like what, 50% more? Eugene. Who's second
I
place right now?
think second place at the moment now is Mitrovic.
Mitrovic.
Mitrovic,
What's the goal tally? How many goals did he
I
score?
think he's got 5.
He's got 5.
Yeah, I know where you're going about this, right? Kane has got 4, right? So,
Okay, last Kane.
Kane's
Okay,
got
I
4.
mean,
Yeah.
Kane's
Kane's
got
got
4.
4.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. But
Yeah.
you see, Keshav, and this is what I'm talking about, right? He's got 11 goals.
10 or 11.
10 or 11 goals in the Premier League, and the second place is only 5. And I think this guy Haaland will not stop scoring. Now, Eugene, you talked about if Spurs were to play against Man City and they use the current tactics, maybe they could beat City again like they did last season 3-2. But now with Haaland in the side and the way that the team is playing, scoring 4-0 yesterday against Sevilla, honestly, not just for Spurs, I'm talking about in the Premier League alone. How do you think this guy is going to be stopped? And how do you think this team is going to be stopped?
Let me read you the top scorers at the moment, right? Haaland
Yeah.
has got 10, Mitrovic got
Yeah.
6, Tony has got 5, Kane's got 5, right? So he's like double
Yeah.
the most of the. And we've only played how many games? 5 games, right?
6.
6 games. So we've played 6 games, that will make us, how would you say, Haaland is on the what call on the average, right, to get about 60 goals this season.
It looks like it, but
Oh,
yeah, it looks like
yeah,
it. I
60
mean,
goals this
he,
season, right?
I think Haaland is not far away from a few more hat tricks. I think he will
Oh
definitely have
yeah,
a few more hat
of course,
tricks
of course.
in all
If he comes out
competitions.
against teams, like he, I mean, come on, Bournemouth. I mean, Liverpool scored 9 against Bournemouth, and look where are they now, right? So,
Yeah,
but the Sevilla match, right? MCT dominated again, right? Haaland scoring again. How are we gonna stop them? That's what Spurs
mm,
has to think about this coming Saturday. And I
yeah,
guess what Conte has to be very, very precise and drill the players and the squad to do what has to be done. Most probably, I think it will be the same thing again like last season, where we will sit back, right, this coming Saturday game, right, and absorb as much pressure as possible. Because last season, right, they didn't have an out and out goal scorer. This season,
mm.
if we make one single mistake, I tell you. But deep down inside, I've got this feeling, right? Haaland is going to rip Dyer a new one. Simple as that. He's going to rip
Okay, so
Dyer.
you think Haaland's going to rip Dyer apart? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, Dyer Spurs in dire straits. Haaland in the air. Oh my God,
Um,
I am definitely relishing
uh,
to see the contest between Spurs and Man City. But
the,
of course,
yeah, the only way Haaland will be stopped, I think, if he gets an injury. That's all. If not,
yeah.
it's going to be a what call. I don't know. I mean, not just against Spurs, right? Whoever they play against at the moment, whoever they play against at the
Yeah,
moment. So,
I think it's fair to say that the only way to beat City is to make sure that Haaland doesn't start. You know what I mean, so to
oh,
speak. That's
but
gonna
you
be a
see, like
chance.
the games against Newcastle and of course Villa, right? But they were playing away, if I'm not mistaken, right, against Villa and Newcastle. There was a little bit chink in the armor. I think the only chink in City's armor at the moment now, right? The midfield is superb. Their attacking options are superb, but their defense, they have a slight chink in their defense at the moment. I think Carl Walker is
Yeah,
getting old, right, and
yeah,
there's some weaknesses there, but at the moment, our front four, front three ain't clicking. So it will take, I think, Son miracle, right, to get back on form for this other game to actually get a result for us. If not, I will say it will be lucky we lose 2-0 to them.
Okay, well spoken like a true Spurs fan, of course. You know, being very honest, of course. Definitely, I think Spurs definitely have a chance. You know, what do you think, Keshav? You know, I mean, aside to the Spurs versus Man City game, just tell us what you think about, you know, Haaland and you know the fact that he's scoring two goals, you know, in the Champions League. You know, and how do you think, you know, it's possible for any team to stop him? Like what you didn't say it's going to be injuries. What do you think? Very quickly.
Maybe that, and but I also think it's to do if how why Haaland is playing well right now. It's because of how the way Man City is set up to play for him. So it's
Yeah.
not the other players because right now the reason they bought him is that they're just going to accommodate to him. That's why he's the main focal point of the project now.
Yeah,
So I
I
think
totally agree.
in that
Mhm.
case, it's like how we gonna just give how we going to play Haaland? Just pass him, give him the ball,
Yeah.
running behind, play to his strengths when it comes to set pieces. He's
Hmm.
so physical, and when you see the goals he scores, it's like he just stuck out his leg against the example the Sevilla game. He stuck out his leg. If I'm right or not, I don't know which game was it, but I remember he stuck out his leg or he came in at the back post. I'm not sure, but he just got this physicality and strength about him where you don't see it in such tall defenders. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think I've seen any other player who was like 6'4" or 6'3" play like that and scores
Yeah,
that
and his
many
speed,
goals.
he's got such good speed. He runs past defenders like they're not there. That's the scary part. You know what I'm saying?
And again, I want to say this, right? It's not about you know, Haaland getting used to the physicality of the Premier League. I think it's the Premier League getting used to his physicality because he's ultimately
Yeah,
one of the strongest players I have ever seen play, and I think he will terrorize defenses left, right, center, regardless of whichever team. You know, if he doesn't score, he's going to create chances, and you know he's going to open up spaces for attackers to score. So yes, I do agree. You know, in all aspects, you know, if Haaland gets injured, that's the only way to stop Man City. But the only way to score against Man City is to use that weakness that they have in defense at the moment, which is not looking as good as last season. So hopefully teams can put up a match like Aston Villa or maybe Newcastle, for example, manage to get a draw against them. So hopefully, teams can actually learn from that and use that against Man City to actually get a result. So very quickly, because we are, of course, running for time as well. It's already 1 hour and 10 minutes into the show. Since I am here, we must talk about my team also, lah. Correct or
Okay,
not? Let's talk
yeah.
about my team also. So MU is going to be playing with Real Sociedad today in the Europa League. Yes, we are in the Europa League, guys. I know you guys, big boys, are in the Champions League, so you got a lot to brag about. Myself and Keshav, of course, myself, United in the Europa League, and West Ham is in the Conference League. They're also playing tonight, right? Against
Yeah, I'm watching the game. Yeah, it's tonight. Yeah,
FC
FCSB Stadio Bucharest. They are from Romania. Yeah, it's not going
okay.
to be easy, but
Are you playing away or home?
home. We're playing at home.
Playing home.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that game in a short while, but United versus Real Sociedad. So let me start with Eugene on this one. Eugene, go ahead. Tell us how you think this game is going to go.
I guess ever since the big protest, right, during the Liverpool game, and your owners all of a sudden threw out 150 million pounds by Casemiro and Anthony.
By the way, it is still hashtag Glazers out. Yeah, I'm not.
It's still hashtag Glazers. It's not like me. I'm still hashtag Levy out. So and Inik out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it doesn't matter, right? I'm for the ownership to go back to the fans instead of being held by billionaires. That's my motto and my principle at the moment. But how would you say? Ten Hag is actually, I think, coming throughout to the players now how he wants to play. So you guys do have a chance, right, to achieve something in the Europa League. And if you do win it, it's a backdoor to the Champions League, right? So
yeah, there's a passport. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just another ticket to Champions League. But of course, Real Sociedad, I'm not too sure how they're doing in the Spanish league at the moment, right? So that's what we have to look at that, right? Because the Spanish league, I think they're about 5 games at the moment.
Yeah.
The Spanish league, where are they sitting in the league and all that?
Yeah, they are not really like how they were, I think, previous seasons ago. I think they definitely have some holes. So United should exploit that. I think
Real Sociedad at the moment is 9th. They played 4 games,
Yeah.
won 2, drawn 1, lost 1, and it's -1 in their
Yeah.
goal difference. So I guess with your attacking threats that you have at the moment now, I guess it will be. I won't say it's easy, right? Because when you go into the European games, right, unless you're playing some game, come on, Spurs played some team called Pacos de Ferreira or Mora or something like that, and then we just barely scrape out of it or lose to them,
Yeah.
right? MU away, I guess for you guys, MU at home,
Yeah.
Old Trafford. I think it'll be an easy scoreline, 2-0 for you guys. 2-0.
Oh wow! Thank
Yeah.
you for the
It wouldn't be
prediction.
that difficult. 2-0 for you guys,
Yeah,
right?
but I do expect the team to be changed. I don't expect the same flowing team like they had previously the Premier League games. So Keshav, I mean, of course,
but Ram,
Yeah.
I think what Ten Hag has now, right? He will still play the same. What I call. I see Dom is in the chat. Sorry, big up Dom.
yeah.
But what I see for United is very simple now. If I was Ten Hag, I won't rotate the players. Yeah, I won't rotate the players. I will still play them because they need that cohesion, right? And you might have to add in Casemiro into the mix now, so he can have a cohesion with the team to play the way he wants to play. And of course, Ten Hag now with your great CR7 not leaving, right? He's got another trump card in his sleeve there, just in case somewhere down the line and no one is doing well, just throw him on, right? And usually when you throw CR7 on, right, the defenders are like attracted to get distracted and open up space for other people to do things, right? That's how I see it. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm definitely hoping for a win today for sure. Like what Coach Dom, easy game for United. I hope so. So guys, of course, Coach Dom from Joe United, of course, do catch his channel if you are a United fan. This is Jom United, Buatan Malaysia, for
Yeah.
all Manchester United fans. So go ahead, check out the channel. But Coach Tom, easy game. I hope so. I hope that we'll wake up tomorrow morning feeling amazing with a good result, just like how we felt against Arsenal. To be honest. Yeah, but
I had a good feeling too, yeah, in the game.
but Keshav, do let us know. I mean, of course, I know you're a West Ham fan. West Ham has played United many games, but of course, this season is different. United look different. But do you think you can share some insight on how you think United are going to be playing against Sociedad today, away from home?
I think there are going to be changes. I think United have a reasonably good enough squad to be put out against Sociedad. I've not watched Sociedad, but I know that before, I think a few seasons ago, they had Januzaj, from former Man United player.
Yep.
I remember Moyes managed Sociedad for a few months and then he got sacked. So I think that's all I know. But I think they had Isak, if I'm not mistaken, at Sociedad. He's now gone to Newcastle. That when they had Isak at that side, they looked good. But I think they have a few players there like what's his name? Morello or something. I completely forgot. But I think it's I'm not really sure. I don't really know much about them, but I know that they had Moyes as their manager and Januzaj. But I think it will be, as usual, European games will be tough. It's not going to be easy. But I think probably a comfortable win for United. I think I'll go 3-1. 3-1 I'll go for. And I think it'll be a good chance to give some youngsters like who they have. They have is Brendan Williams still there at United?
Yes, he's still there, but I doubt he's gonna be. I doubt he's gonna be playing.
I don't think. Yeah, like I said, I don't think they will make much changes.
Maybe Saka might come in. I don't know.
I think it's gonna be the goal.
You ask Ram, would you want Wan-Bissaka to come in and Harry the Fridge Maguire to be there? Right.
Well, if I had to choose between the two, obviously I'll give Wan-Bissaka a chance. I'm fine by giving Wan-Bissaka a chance, but not the Fridge. I can't stand something too cold. It's totally a reptile. I don't want reptiles to be playing in my team. So, having said that, I think it's fair to say that I think Dubravka might start. I don't know. I have a feeling that he might start. I think that Lindelof might start as well if he's okay, along with Varane. Martinez will get a rest. I do see Luke Shaw coming back in the squad because Malaysia has still quite a few games. Very quickly, I also see Van de Beek starting as well in the center of defense, center of midfield. Sorry, along with Casemiro. Casemiro, and then I do see Anthony Ilanga starting as well. To prove a point because he's one of the youngsters that have shined last season. I don't think Bruno will start today. I think Bruno will be on the bench because I think it's very important for him to be playing the next games in the Premier League. So I think if I'm right, I think what they'll probably do is they'll probably put Eriksen in that slot, and they'll probably put Rashford on the right, and they will probably put Martial in if he's fit. So,
isn't Rashford injured at the moment?
Rashford so far looks okay. He looks okay.
Okay, but for me, right, Ram, I think you see it's the first game of the European for you guys. First game in Europe, right? I think your Ten Hag will go with a strong team, and then while the game progresses, and if the results are okay, right? I mean, you're up 2 goals and all that, then you will start doing the changes. Bring out, take out Varane, put in the Fridge, right? Take out Malacia.
Please don't put the number 5. No. That was the scariest moment last week. Okay, against Arsenal.
That's what he did, right? Against Arsenal. Yeah.
I freaked out, and he came on and he got a yellow card.
Malacia and put on, Luke Shaw or Wan-Bissaka. He'll change it around after maybe half in maybe 45 minutes or maybe 1 hour when you guys are already comfortable, right? But because I see that a lot of European teams have, the first game in Europe, right? Usually they put out a strong team because they want to make sure that you get the 3 points and you be on the board, right? And at least then as maybe the games go by, then more rotation will come in. You see, that's how I
Yeah.
see it.
And I do take back what I said earlier because I just got information that there are some knocks and injuries. So
And
Luke
Rashford
Shaw
is injured,
is not
right?
available. Luke
Oh,
Shaw
look,
is not available. Brandon Williams is not available because he has a knock. My hopeful starting guy Donny van der Beek is also not available because he has a knock. Tuan Zibi, Anthony Martial, and of course Phil Jones. I don't know why they mentioned Phil Jones because he's not really important. So yeah, I think I think it's going to be a lot of. But I think honestly, Eugene and Keshav, I do think United are going to make a bit of changes today. I think it's going to be a risk for Ten Hag for sure, but I think it's going to be quite a bit of change. I will see the starting lineup, and I think that United will win by the odd goal, maybe 1-0,
Ram,
2-1.
you better don't lose. Be Ten Hag out.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Eugene. And just before we end the show today, I want, of course, since of course Keshav is here, he's a West Ham United fan. West Ham. I'll be playing with what's the team again?
FCSB.
FCSB,
No, F, F, F
FCSB.
something FCSB. I do.
Store Bucharest, if not mistaken.
Yes, Stuart Bucharest.
Okay,
Yes.
stay out Bucharest. Okay, so go ahead, Keshav. Go and tell us. Before this game, you're going to be watching the game. Do tell us what you expect and what you think your predictions are going to be. Quickly, go ahead.
I don't know much about FCSB, but I know that they have a good. I think they finished second, and not mistaken, in the Romanian league. I don't think they're in a good form right now. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're in the relegation zone. I think, but we cannot underestimate these sides. I remember
Mhm.
Spurs played these sides when it came to Champions League, and unfortunately, they got knocked out. So I hope this doesn't happen to us. We need to take this seriously. I do feel that we have a good chance of winning this Conference League. I know we finished
Mhm.
in semi-finals last season. We had a great season, but I feel we was very out of form last season. If you could see the
You
win,
can ask Eugene for advice because his team was experienced in the Conference League before. Maybe you can ask him for some tips.
Yeah. Conference.
Anyway, go
No,
on,
we,
Keshav, go
we
on.
were we were unfairly kicked out because of COVID protocols and all the bullshit. And EPL
Yeah.
didn't want to postpone the Leicester game so we could go and play the whatever game that we were supposed to play, right? And I
Yeah.
think it was against Start Rents or something like that. So in the end of the day, we got kicked out, and behold, who won the cup? Jose Mourinho.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
don't
go
laugh.
on, Keshav.
He's a pro manager too, huh? Don't laugh, huh?
Yeah,
You're a
yeah,
manager
yeah.
too, huh?
We have something in
Pro
common.
manager
Okay,
too,
we
huh?
have something
You're a
in
manager
common.
too, huh?
Yeah. Okay, go on, Keshav. Go on.
as I was saying, like I said, the signings we've made, I think I'm really happy with the window. We've shown very big ambition because we backed Moyes in the transfer market. The owners had to do it because a lot of our players left. Like Lucas Paqueta, who's coming, our club record signing, I think 51 million the club has ever done. Very good player. Very happy with him. I'm sure he will be proved to be a good signing in the games to come. We need him time to adjust. We've got Scamacca in, very highly rated Italian international for the Italian team. I remember he played a few games for Italian national team. He looks good. He's a he's a very physical striker, but he's got speed in him. He can score goals. I know he hasn't scored yet. He's only scored in the Europa Conference League and some few friendly games, but he's showing signs. We have also bought We've got Maxwell Cornet from Burnley, which I think also is a very smart signing. Cornet could have scored the goal last week, but
No,
unfortunately,
it should have stood the goal, not could have. It
Should
should
have
have
stood.
stood.
stood
Yeah.
the
Goal
goal.
should have stood.
Hmm.
Goal should have stood. My God.
And
Bad.
Carra
Need to
also who has come in. I think he's, to be honest, one of the best bargains we've ever got. He's such a good defender. I know he unfortunately the own goal against Spurs, and then I think a few games back he scored an own goal, but very good defender. I like the look of him, and we've got Ogod from Stid. I think Rons. Unfortunately, he's injured right now, but he will be coming back. I think 2 months. I think hopefully by October, end of October. But we've got a good squad, and I think we need to. I know we are not at the best form right now. I know it's a bit of a sticky patch, but I think we're starting to get a bit of form back, and I hope today we can see a bit of signs. I'm really excited by the signings, and I hope we can start to. We've got a few winnable fixtures. I think we've got Newcastle this week, and then we've got Fulham next week. But we've got some winnable games. I think to start off, hopefully today will give some confidence. I do think with the squad we got, we can win this conference competition. I'm taking this very seriously because I know we came far last season. Wasn't an easy ride because we faced Lyon, Frankfurt. I don't want to talk about the Frankfurt game because that was awful, very awful game. But we played well considering we didn't have a big squad. We had a very small squad. So I hope now we have got a much bigger squad. We have got quality players like Cornet and Bowen and Rice and Pakata. So there's no excuses for us not to go far. And I hope we win tomorrow. I hope we win today. But let's see. I'll be watching the game, but we shouldn't take.
But you guys are at home, right?
Home,
if you're
yes.
at home, if you're at home, the chances are much better.
So
If
good
you were
luck to
traveling-
you, Keshav.
Yeah, if you were traveling to Romania, that would be a scarier thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely
Yeah.
good luck to you, Keshav. I
Yeah,
am
good luck.
rooting for.
Good luck.
Of
And
course,
good luck to
you're
you too.
always good luck. Thank you. I'm pretty confident. I think United will probably win, but not to say like it's going to be 4-0 or 5-0. I'm going to keep things on the ground. I think it's going to be a good win. Keshav, I do hope West Ham wins as well. Of course, I do have a very soft spot for West Ham United, considering that Moyes was once our manager. So, do have
you
a bit of soft
You
spot.
should manage us
So,
too, eh?
yep. It's a very interesting group today. In our channel today. So, guys, of course, if you're just watching us, this is the Plot Malaysia. Do send us your comments. We want to actually listen to your comments. Do let us know what you think about your team. If you want to be a guest on our show, just like Keshav or Eugene, you're more than welcome, of course. What you have to do is very simple. Join us on our Telegram chat as we just started our Telegram chat. Keshav, I know you're part of it. Thank you so much for joining us. Eugene, I'll send you the link very shortly, so you can actually.
Sorry, I don't do Telegram.
Okay, you don't do Telegram, no problem. Maybe airmail or whatever. Okay, fine, no problem. WhatsApp, yeah, sure, no problem. But any one of you, of course, you're more than welcome to join us on Telegram if you want to talk football. Join the rest of us in all this wonderful banters that we've been having. Please, yes, I will be notifying you in terms of the links. You can also get the link from our Twitter account. Of course, Malaysia Plot. Just click on the link, join our group chat, and we're more than happy to actually have you on the show as well. So yeah, all the way. Thank you once again, Eugene and Keshav, for joining us today. We had such good fun. It's been 1.5 hours. I didn't feel like as if it was long. It was amazing. I think Keshav, you provided some really good insights, for all the games that has happened, all the games that were featured. Eugene, definitely, you look very, very happy in terms of Spurs winning, but you're saying that Spurs
Not enough sleep.
Not
From last
in
night.
terms of the performance, but not enough sleep last night. Okay, get it, no problem. So, guys, thank you once again. We're going to have a show again very, very soon. Definitely hope to have.
Yeah, and of
guests
course,
on the
the
show.
truth, right? I miss Harry, right? Which Harry was he?
Yeah. yes, I know. Obviously, me too. Likewise. So all of us send our best wishes to Harry. Whatever you want to say to him, go ahead, send us on the comments. But now it's signing off from the Plot Malaysia. So here we go, signing off from the Plot Malaysia. This is the show for the fans.
By the fans.
By the fans.
Also, leave me out.
Take care, guys.